I am a barbarian, even though we're playing as a demon hunter in this footage. And I pretty much knew that someone would bring up the lawsuit. The first question I asked was about my air conditioning, and we got Juju Flop coming through with I love some of these names. One part was not enough. You guys had so many questions about Diablo Immortal that I had to come through with part 2. So let's dive into more of your community questions. We have Mizurok with the question, do I think that the end game in Diablo Immortal is going to be engaging? And the answer is yes, because there's so many end games. Like we have campaign, which of course campaigns end, although you can do your bounty boards every day, 12 different bounties. If you're a shadow, you have other things you can do as well. You're gonna have some type of PvP. Hopefully they evolve the battlegrounds, but as of right now, they haven't, so you'll at least have that. You'll have the Shadows versus the Immortal endgame stuff, and of course, you're gonna be having the Elder Rifts and Challengers. So there's really 4 or 5 ways that you could play Diablo Immortal even after you get to that endgame and you grind. Plus, you have the Helliquary as well, which is gonna have monthly new bosses. There's really so much you can do inside Diablo Immortal because the game is so huge that I don't think endgame is going to be a problem. But there was a little bit more to this question. He says, what do you think they should change about it? Nothing. What about the Paragon system? Paragon systems is as it is, but they talked about expanding that as well, which are basically bringing more skill trees to your character, because you know people are going to be getting to the 100, 200, 300, 500, 800, 1,000 Paragon over time. They're going to have to make there be a reason to continue Paragoning your character. And if you don't know what Paragon is, when you reach max level in Diablo Immortal or any Diablo game, you can then enhance that. So you go max level plus 1 Paragon, plus 2 Paragon, plus 3, all the way up to infinity. And when you get a Paragon, you earn a Paragon point, which you can then spend on a different type of a skill tree, which is called the Paragon tree. So yes, I do think that the Paragon trees will be expanded, and they're just going to be continuously growing. And look at this, we ran into 9 Ball inside of the game. How nice is that? So while we sit here and chat with our boy 9, I want to take Cluso's question, which says, can you make a video on different skills and how skills change with different gems and gear that you get? And that is, again, 100% something that I'm going to do inside of the game once we have the game. The real game, when it's out, I plan to do all of that, breaking down gear, with gems, with skills, with classes. It's going to be incredible. I have a lot of videos to make. Now we have Game Molly with a question, actually a perfect time while I'm sitting here and chatting with 9. He talks about the party system and the chat system. As you can see on the screen, very easy to join up in a party. You literally can run into someone in the real world, tap on them and interact with them, see their stuff, become friends with them, get into a chat with them as well. It's really nice and easy to play with others, even with new people that you may meet inside of the game. Also, he says that the editor is the MVP. I happen to agree. We got a good guy on our team. Now, Carrie says that we need to have more quests for the adventurer like the Shadows do, and any news about the test in China. First of all, the test in China, from what I heard, which is just all through the grapevine stuff, that's going to be ending in a few days, if not already by the time this video is coming out. But it's ending very soon. The test that they want to do was a server-related test, not any new features. So I think that test has been done. I think Blizzard's happy with what they got, or at least that's what I'm assuming. So that's going to be ending, and more stuff. So bounties. I noticed when you're low level, before you've really maxed out, the bounties tend to repeat themselves. So will some of the shadow things that you have to do. So as you progress and get higher up in the game, higher level, you will get yourself more bounties and more things like that. I also believe that Blizzard will be continuously adding different bounty tasks and adventurer tasks and immortal tasks as well to the game to keep it stimulating and just basically refreshed. I knew we were going to get a Witch Doctor question. We got it coming in from Bubba, and I know of some streamers, some that we may have had on the Immortal podcast in the past, that are all about that Witch Doctor coming back to the game. I'm the guy that wants PvP. She's the gal who wants the Witch Doctor. Do you know who I'm talking about? Let me know in the comment section below if you do. But with that being said, the Witch Doctor could very well be a character they'd bring in the future, along with the Druid, along with the Amazon, or maybe even some new ones. Really, I don't know if they're going to bring the Witch Doctor. I do think the Witch Doctor is super cool. I always enjoyed playing it, but anything is a possibility. I think that as a community, if we let Blizzard know through videos, through social posts and things like that, that we overwhelmingly want a certain class or character that's like a certain class, I think they'd listen. Jeff asks about the season pass with the free and with the not free version. Is it worth purchasing? I'll talk about me specifically. There's many reasons why I like to purchase season passes in free-to-play games. One, you get extra rewards that are always worth more than you're paying, and two, it supports the game. And when I'm playing a game that's free-to-play, like Diablo Immortal, like Clash of Clans, or any other games that I happen to play, you gotta support them in some way. These guys need to get paid so they can continue supporting the game. So, although we don't yet know what's on the lower tier of the Battle Pass, I can guarantee that it's going to be worth a lot more money than what it actually costs to buy. So, for example, in something like Brawl Stars, it's like 50 times the value if you buy the Battle Pass, the rewards that you get for the $10 or so that you spend. It's going to be the same type of thing here, guaranteed, and I guess I can't guarantee it because I don't actually know, but around the world, battle passes give more than you pay for because they have to make their money. It's a great value, it supports the company. So with that being said, it has to do with you. If you are very tight on funds and you don't have money, is it smart to take food off of your table to buy a battle pass? No, it's not. But if you're comfortable and you're looking to support the game and you spend a lot of time in it, I think you actually should buy it to support the game. With that being said, if they ever bring creator codes to Diablo Immortal, I am going to fight for Code Echo. So you could try it if you're watching this video now, and it's 6 months from now and there are creator codes. Try Code Echo. Thanks for supporting ahead of time. We have Rick asking about the Necromancer. Do I think it's going to be powerful or weak? Actually, it was an in-depth question. That's the point I'm going to take from it, though. And the Crusader came and was by far the strongest in the game. Was that because they wanted to entice people to try the Crusader and they're going to nerf it later? Not sure. Necromancer, though, you have to think of how is the Necro going to deal with classes like the Crusader and the Barbarian. When the Necromancer is kind of in between, it's not a ranged class, but it's definitely not a melee class. It really depends on how it's built out and how powerful it is. It sounds like a very generic answer there, but without ever really even seeing much about the Necromancer, it's super hard to give an answer on that. My guess, though, is it's going to be one of the better classes inside of the game in the beta that we're going to be seeing soon. Do I think it's going to be stronger than something like a Barb or a Crusader in a PvP setting? I would have to say probably not. But again, I could be wrong. They could spawn some beastly characters and really give a hard time to a Barb or a Crusader. Oh, by the way, there's the Battle Pass from the technical alpha before it was all blanked out in the closed alpha. So there's some good stuff down there too. And also, Rick, thanks so much for the tips on the fans through the piping. We could totally do that, and I actually have it working fairly well right now, but my man, I appreciate the tip. We have Robert Olson, who's a member of the channel. Thank you so much, man, for being a member. Now, to get to your first question, he says that cell phone games are on decline now, which I have to 100% disagree with. Games on mobile, because we're not just talking cell phones, are the major majority of games played across the entire world. You're talking about 65+% of gaming are done on mobile devices. I wish that I had like an updated chart to share with you right now, but I don't. The one that I had was from about a year. Maybe the editor can do. You think you could find something like that? If he finds something, he'll throw it up. If not, we're gonna pat him on the shoulder. We're gonna say good try anyway. He said that he was, they wanted to launch Diablo 2, Resurrected first. They announced Diablo Immortal also. Most of the market is now in China and India. Well, there is a large market in China and India for mobile gaming, 100%. That's not untrue. But there's also a massive market in the other regions of the world, including the United States as well. I mean, mobile gaming is the future. Not that there's not going to be PC, not that there's not going to be console. Mobile gaming will be the majority, and games that are on PC and console, they're going to be cross-platform. Like, we're seeing Apex Legends, we're seeing tons of different games. I even heard that Warframe is going to be coming to mobile, which is insane. I think in 5 years, we'll be seeing the majority of games that are on PC and console also being on mobile as well, all cross-platform, and it's going to be epic. Because remember, guys, we don't have to have a platform war. It doesn't have to be iOS versus Android. We don't have to have a battle. We can embrace it, all support one another, because really, we are gamers. I don't care if you play on PC. I don't care if you play on console or mobile. We are all gamers in love with the same thing. We just like to do it in a different way, and really, it's silly to argue about it. Let's support one another, bring gaming to a highlight, and make it just supported completely throughout all, so that everyone can play on the platforms that they want, all cross-platform. My God, it sounds like a dream. So we have Gene with a question, pretty in-depth. I may have to go back and read it a little bit here, but first of all, talking about customization upon release. We know that Diablo Immortal is going to be bringing skins to the game. You're going to be able to purchase skins, or they may be part of the battle pass as well. I'm assuming that they will be. These are going to be completely cosmetic. They are 100% not going to have anything to do with power. So you're going to be able to get those to look differently. So when you're out there beating down on people, they could check you out and they could say, wow, he looks cool. You also asked the questions about seasons, and as it sits right now, there are going to be no seasons in Diablo Immortal. So as you grind up a character, you are going to maintain that, and there are not going to be any seasonal versus regular characters. Everything is going to maintain its status and its rank. And lastly, he talks about a paywall. Is there going to be a paywall where you can grind and grind and grind? Let's talk about Genshin Impact, where there's definitely a massive paywall. You get to a point in the game where you just have to pay or else the grind is so slow. That is not a thing in Diablo Immortal. This is what everyone needs to understand. You can completely play Diablo Immortal 100% for free from day 1 through year 10 and have an amazing gameplay experience and not be beaten around by people because they happen to pay and because you don't. There are going to be advantages of paying, but they're very small, and they're only going to be affecting those super high-end players that are all the way at the top that honestly, I'm not even going to be competing with myself. So I am not at all worried about a paywall. There is no point in the game where you get there and you're like, my God, it's going to take me 17 weeks to get to the next level unless if I pay $5 right now. That is not a thing in Diablo Immortal. The development team has made it known that they do not want that to be part of Diablo Immortal, and we will never see that inside of Diablo Immortal. So don't worry. But guys, that was a pretty intimate session we just had, a pretty long one as well, so I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that some of your questions were answered. We should do this again sometime because it was fun. Again, I want to shout out to all of my sponsors who are actually members in the channel supporting me what I'm doing right here. It's been 2 years. You guys have got my back, so thank you. If you don't want to do that, 100% cool, but make sure you subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so when tomorrow's video comes out, you don't miss it. I'll see you guys there. Now be good.